Hi everyone, my name is Anita Ladhani. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and an energy practitioner. And today I want to talk to you about how to determine if your child or if your teenager is possibly depressed. Now, a lot of this can be applied to adults, but I specifically want to focus on kids and teenagers in this video. A lot of times what happens is that when parents have a teenager, they think that a lot of the behavior is very typical of just what we consider, the stereotypical teenage behavior. And because of that, a lot of parents miss the telltale signs that their child possibly may be struggling with depression or anxiety. So, of course, here are some things, right? If they're isolating, if they are, locking themselves up in the room, or, when you go in the room, the windows are down, the blinds are closed, it's dark in the room, they really just want to be on social media, or they want to watch TV, or they listen to music. They don't want to interact with family members. They don't want to interact with anyone really. You may notice a change in their appetite. They may eat too much, or they may not eat enough. You may notice a change in their sleep pattern. They may sleep too much, or they may not sleep enough. Now, given COVID and given quarantine, our sleep patterns are completely messed up. Okay, teenagers or kids are going through this as well, because I hear a lot of parents tell me that their teenager stays up all night, goes to bed at pretty early in the morning, and then sleeps for a couple hours, wakes up, and sometimes misses school, but of course now has a difficult time focusing in school because they didn't get enough sleep. So messing, and again, it's not just kids, adults are going through this as well. Now, we have to understand that, given that it's COVID, since quarantine started in March, given that we're still socially isolating, our entire world as we know it has changed. We've all been affected by this because we are meant to be social beings. We are meant to be social animals. We are supposed to, we enjoy the interactions, spending time with people, whatnot. We were never designed to sit at home by ourselves with only the people that we live with. If you're lucky to live with people, sometimes you don't have people. You're the only person you are with, and then you really feel the effect of the isolation, feel the effect of not having physically being able to interact with people. So here are some symptoms. So what I just described earlier, with the isolation, the appetite changes, whatever, those are symptoms of depression. What does anxiety look like? And again, this could be applicable to adults as well as teenagers. It's a little different in young kids. So I'll talk about that in a minute. For teenagers, and when I say teenagers, I'm also talking about like 11, 12, whatever, all the way up. Anxiety looks like racing heartbeats. It looks like, hands shaking, feeling cold and yet sweaty at the same time, not being able to, currently focus on what's going on or what is being said, overthinking things, worrying about what happened, and replaying scenarios in their head that happened and thinking, oh, what did they really mean? And, maybe I should have said this. And, just really just stressing about what's already happened, or worrying about what's going to happen or what's coming up, just stressing about it. And it's there's a actual physical change, right, in terms of the heartbeat increasing, shallow breaths. So breath is really important. If you can teach your teenager, if you can notice yourself, that when you tend to get upset, the first thing that happens is that we start to take very shallow breaths. So instead of taking a nice deep breath like this, we'll breathe like this, very shallow. And what you may not even realize that sometimes we actually hold our breath for like a second, or a half a second before we take our next breath. So what do you do when you realize that you have a child or a teenager that is struggling with depression? Oh, sorry, kids, young kids. The way you know they're struggling with any kind of depression, mental illness, is they'll cry, They will have tummy aches. They'll complain about their tummy hurting. Tummy aches are very, very obvious, common, indications of anxiety. Of course, bedwetting is a very big indication of, that they're struggling. Of course, change in appetite, them not wanting to do what they were comfortable doing before, whether it's, going to school or whether it's, playing with some particular person, that is a sign that something's off. So, what do you do when you think maybe perhaps something's going on, or that your teenager or child is suffering? Well, the simplest and easiest thing, and probably the most effective thing you can do to start off with, is find them a therapist. Find them someone that they can talk to on a regular basis. What is regular? Regular is at least once a week. Sometimes when they're starting off, they may need to speak to a therapist twice a week, but at least once a week, because a therapist is someone that is their person that they can sort of vent and talk about their feelings. Of course, you may say, I am very close to my child opens up to me. That's great. But in my experience, children, even though they may be very close to their parent, don't always open up to their parents when they're struggling for several reasons, because they don't want to impose on the parents. They don't want the parents to worry about them, or they may be embarrassed, or they just have this they're stressed. They just don't feel comfortable opening up about whatever it is that they're struggling with. So find them a therapist. That's really the simplest first thing you can do. And then if they need medication, if it's serious, then usually the therapist will recommend that. Okay. And not everyone needs medication. Just talking to a therapist, consistently makes a huge difference. So anyways, I hope this is helpful. As always, I am available. Inbox me. I'm always available to have a quick conversation with you about if you're concerned about your child and whatnot. Love and light. Take care. God bless.